Hey guys, a lot of people still are confused about how to create an MLA works cited page. It's important to do this because when you are quoting information from another source, you need to be transparent that those ideas are not your own. It also allows the person reading your paper to go to those sources themselves if they're interested. So before I show you this, what I want you to know is that some instructors and professors don't want you to create your works cited page this way. They consider it cheating. They want you to do it the old school way. Now, the value of doing it the old school way is then you know how to do it if you don't have something like this on your word processing program. And sometimes these word processing programs and their tricks and tools don't do it accurately. So you do need to be able to look at it and think to yourself, gosh, that doesn't look right. So when you're creating a works cited page on a Google Doc, there's something that can help you. All you have to do is go to Tools, and you will see something that says Citations. When you select Citations, it gives you some options here. Now, we use MLA. Now, we use MLA 9th edition. Google Docs uses 8th edition. For our purposes, the 8th edition is okay. There's not so many significant changes that it's going to impact you for 12th grade English. But when you go to college, you do need to be aware that every year the lovely MLA organization changes things, and you need to double check and make sure that if you're using this citation creator in Google Docs, that it's using the right version that your professor wants you to use. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click Add Source, and I'm going to choose what kind of source it is. I'm using only websites, so I'm going to go to Website, and then I'm going to go and select the website, and I'm going to paste it in and hit Search. So something to notice here is that it has the title, the name of the container or the website, the URL, but it doesn't have the year it was published, and it doesn't have any contributors or author's names. So I'm going to go back to that article, and I'm just going to see if I can find the date that it was posted. Sometimes it's at the very bottom of the website. I don't see a date that it was posted, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that blank. But as a reminder, whenever you see something that says missing, you want to go back to the source and see if you can find it. So I'm going to go hit continue and just double check everything. I'm going to say this is an organization. It is NASA, so I'm going to go ahead and put NASA there. And I'm going to hit add citation source. So you'll see that here it is, right? Right here, they did it for me. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to keep adding them. So let me go to this one, add citation source. It's a website, and I'm going to go ahead and search with the URL. Let's see, it looks like it has everything. I'm going to hit continue. And if I scroll down, yep, that all looks good. Add citation source. And now you see I have both of my sources there. So now I have all three sources over here in my toolbar. Let's say I was writing something and I am quoting one of these sources. One of the cool things about this is I can go over to the source and I can select more options or cite, and it will insert the in-text citation. So it goes ahead and it puts the article name in the in-text citation in the correct quotation marks. Now you might be asking, why didn't it put the author's name? Well, this one doesn't have an author associated with it. So it went to the next logical thing and put the title of the article. So that's just something to know, that if you wanted to use that to do in-text citations, you could. There's some tricks with that. So just make sure to still use your logic and what you know about inserting quotations. Let's say I'm ready to create my works cited page. I have everything over here and I'm good to go. I have my sources all figured out. All I'm going to do is hit works cited, and look what it does for me. It has created and properly formatted my works cited page. So let's take a look at this just in case you ever have to do it without an automatic generator. Works cited is centered on the top of the page. We have our first entry and we have the name of the article in quotation marks. We have a period before the last quotation mark. Remember, this article did not have an author. That's why there's no author there. Then we have the name of the container, which is the name of the website. We then have the date it was published. We have the website URL address, and we have the date that I accessed it. That's the date that I went to the website. Now, our next source was written by an organization, NASA. So after the name of the writer, we have a period. Then we have the name of the article here in quotation marks. Notice there's a period after the name of the article. We have the name of the container. It's the NASA's the name of the website. Then we have a comma, and then we have the website and the date it was accessed. Notice we don't have a date it was published because remember there was no publication date. Now the final one actually had a writer. So his name is here, last name, comma, first name, period, quotation mark, the name of the article, period, end quotation mark, the name of the website, notice it's italicized, all of them are, the date it was published, comma, the website, period, and the date it was accessed. Notice also that these are in alphabetical order and only the first line of each entry is justified left. All of the other ones are indented. This is called a hanging indentation. So this is what your works cited page should look like. I'll also put a website source online. So if you're doing it by hand, you know how to access that.